Beware of the snake in the garden. I apologize for how scruffy I look. I haven't been as diligent to shave, and I've had my hat on, so my hair's messy, so hopefully that's not too distracting. But what do I mean, beware of the snake in the garden? Most of the people who would be interested in my kind of content probably know that I'm referring to the story of Genesis 3, where Satan, in the guise of a serpent, tempts Adam and Eve to eat the forbidden fruit and thus precipitate the fall of man. And what's interesting to me about that story is that Eden is a perfect place. There's no suffering, there's no sin. God walks in the midst of it. We know that from Genesis 3. And yet the potential, yet there is an enemy there. An enemy is permitted to be there. Now, you can have a whole lot of theological, biblical discussions about why God would allow Satan to even enter into the garden. That's not the purpose of this video. That is a worthwhile conversation, just not for this video. But the potential for evil is there. The enemy is there. And so the point I'm making is, when things are going well, when you are in a seemingly perfect situation, when you have the job you want, when everyone is healthy, the bills are being paid, everything's kind of settled, there's no major catastrophe or tragedy, beware. Be mindful, because even in that perfect place of Eden, the enemy, the serpent, was there ready to strike. And so if things are going really, really well for you, just be mindful that the devil is still there. Just because things are going well doesn't mean that you, it doesn't mean they'll stay that way. And it doesn't mean that there is not some sort of threat underneath the surface. And sometimes when things are going well, that is when we kind of get lulled to sleep and we become less watchful. And then we just give the devil a foothold. We leave the door cracked open just a little bit for him to slither in and to wreak havoc. So be mindful that the snake is always in the garden. When things are going well, beware, be watchful. Never let down your guard. And that's not to say to be paranoid. We are more than conquerors through Christ. So we don't need to be paranoid. We don't need to be fearful. An entrance into the kingdom has been abundantly supplied. We can approach the throne of grace with boldness. God has not given us a spirit of fear. If I had time to edit, I would put all of these verses on the screen. So if you want to drop the verses in the comments and do the work for me, I'd appreciate that, because I don't have the time to really edit these videos quite how I would like. But we're given a lot of verses about how to be bold and courageous and not fearful. So don't be paranoid, just be watchful and be aware that even when things are going well, and maybe even particularly when things are going well, that the devil is there waiting to devour you, as Peter tells us. Shorter video today. I gotta get to work, but I hope this is helpful. If you have any other ideas for videos, drop them in the comments. And again, any scripture I reference that you recognize, please drop the reference in the comments as well. Hope you have a great day.